Imagine getting paid just for sharing your thoughts on products and services you use every day. With Survey Junkie, it's that simple. Click on the link in the video description to discover how you can start earning today by taking surveys.
For 13 years, no one has seen or heard from Timothy Pitson, an Illinois boy who mysteriously vanished in 2011, but his loved ones believe he's still alive and living on a Mormon commune with no access to the outside world or awareness that people are looking for him. Timothy was just 6 years old when his mother Amy Fry Pitson picked him up from school in May 2011, claiming there was a family emergency. They then embarked on a road trip, visiting zoos and water parks across state lines. At the end of the 3 days, on May 14th, Fry Pitson, 43, was found dead in a hotel room. Timothy was nowhere to be found, but his mother had left behind a cryptic suicide note saying her son was safe and being cared for. But then it added, "You'll never find him." Timothy's paternal grandmother Linda Pitson recently told the U.S. Sun that after torturing herself trying to decipher the note, she is convinced her grandson is still alive. His childhood friend Hannah Sukup, who has done her own research into his disappearance, also believes this and has a theory about where he could be. She thinks Timothy is living on a remote Mormon commune. His mother had converted to the religion, without access to the internet. "I still think about Timothy a lot and what happened to him, and with Amy, there were a lot of unexplained visits to certain places," Sukup told the U.S. Sun. "I believe she dropped him off somewhere. I don't know if it was in a religious area, or something like that, but I think she dropped him off and gave him to people she knew would keep him safe and hidden," she added. "And I think she made it clear that either his identity had to be changed or that he had to stay away from the internet so he'd never know he was missing." Timothy's grandmother agrees and said it would explain a lot. "I've agreed with that theory from the beginning. I read that suicide note, and if you read that note and you know her, I would guess she probably gave him to somebody to live in a compound. I have to hope that's true because it'd be a lot better option for me to deal with, as opposed to what the other options are." She does not believe Fry Pitson would have ever hurt Timothy and instead thinks her plan had something to do with her Mormon beliefs. "I think she wanted Tim to be raised Mormon," Pitson said of her daughter-in-law. "The rest of us aren't Mormon, and I think this was her way of making sure he was after she'd gone." Her son James Jim Pitson was married to Fry Pitson, who'd been raised a Mormon but converted to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints before the couple met each other. "She never pushed it on anyone apart from Jim," she said. "But he was reluctant and I think her church may have been pushing her a little, I don't know." Timothy was last seen on May 11, 2011, shortly after being dropped off at Greenman Elementary School, in Aurora, Illinois, by his father, Jim. On May 13, surveillance video captured the last known images of Timothy and his mother as they checked out of the Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin Dells. Timothy was still wearing the same Spider-Man backpack he'd worn to school 2 days earlier. Fry Pitson then drove about 170 miles along the Rock River toward Sterling, a small rural town about 80 miles west of Aurora, before turning off her cell phone, records show. Several hours passed before Fry Pitson was spotted at a store in Winnebago, Illinois, at 8 p.m., where she bought a pen, paper, and envelopes. It's believed these materials would later be used to form her suicide note. Later that evening, Fry Pitson checked into the Rockford Inn at 11:15 p.m. She was found dead by suicide in her room by a hotel maid the next day. "I've taken him somewhere safe. He will be well cared for, and he says that he loves you. Please know that there is nothing you could have said or done that would have changed my mind," she wrote in the note. Jim Pitson knew something was wrong when he arrived at Timothy's school to pick him up only to be told that his wife had already done so. The couple, who had been going through a turbulent time in their marriage, had discussed separating just weeks beforehand. On May 12, before turning her phone off for good, Fry Pitson made several calls including one to her husband and to her husband's brother Chuck. "Timothy is fine. Timothy belongs to me. Timothy and I will be fine. Timothy is S.A.